fixed prepositions. They are basically prepositions associated with a few verbs. Okay, we already know what reflexive verben are, right? We've studied reflexive pronomen and reflexive verben in our eins. Do you remember?
Can you
No,
refresh it
Richa.
again?
Okay, there's sich associated with a verb. Sich amüsieren, sich entschuldigen.
No, I didn't learn that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's do reflexive verben first.
Okay.
Reflexive verben are just a few verbs in which the subject of the reflexive verb refers to doing something to itself. Okay, till now, whatever words we've learned are just some actions or some verbs, basically. Reflexive verbs are different. They refer to doing. Okay, they refer to doing something to itself. Almost any transitive verb can be used for reflexive verb. For example, liebt. Okay. Zum Beispiel, liebt bedeutet he loves. Und liebt ihn bedeutet
He loves him.
ja, richtig. He loves him. And liebt sich bedeutet he loves himself.
Himself.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is a reflexive verb sentence. Here it is just nominative case. He lived, lived. There's no object over here. In this, we are adding an accusative object or accusative personal pronoun ihn. He loves him. And in the next sentence, liebt sich, he loves himself. This is a reflexive verb. This is a reflexive verb used as a sentence. And the pronoun you can say over here is sich. Okay, let's take another example. Hilft is nur he helps. It is in nominative case. In dative, it becomes er hilft ihm. Hilft ihm is he helps him. This is the dative case. And hilft sich is he helps himself. Now he helps himself because he is doing some action for himself. He's doing something for himself. It is a reflexive sentence. Again, over here, there are some reflexive verbs that take dative case, and there are some verbs which take accusative case. The rules are same for any dative verb or any dative or any accusative verb that we learned earlier. With an example, with an object, we could say, ich kaufe ein Haus. Ich kaufe ein Haus. Ich kaufe ihm ein Haus. Und ich kaufe mir ein Haus. Okay, I buy a house, I buy him a house, and I buy myself a house. Again, I'm doing something for myself, I'm buying a house for myself. That's why the last sentence is a reflexive sentence. Some verbs have a fixed use as reflexive, where we do not need to use reflexive verbs in English, as in sich freuen is to be happy or to be happy about, or sich setzen is to sit down. To sit down is that you sit down yourself or you are happy by yourself. This is reflexive verbing wherein you're doing the action or you're using the verb for yourself, or the object is using the verb for itself. It is not using it for any other object. Okay, this is the basic difference between the reflexive verb and normal verbs that we know. There's also something called reflexive pronomen. As we have personal pronomen, there is possessive pronomen, and then we have reflexive pronomen also. So, okay, let's make a table for it. Ish becomes mish, and in dative it becomes mir, meaning the both same, that is myself. Do becomes dish, again yourself, and in dative it becomes dir. RSC becomes zish, that means himself, hers, itself, or herself. And in dative also it remains zish. Here becomes oish. In dative also it remains oish. Here becomes uns, ourselves, again uns. And zizi becomes zish. Dative also zish. Okay, so myself, yourself, himself, itself, herself, yourselves, ourselves, and themselves or yourself for capital Z, that is formal Z. These are reflexive pronomen for accusative and dative. So reflexive verbs are verbs which refer to doing some action to itself, and reflexive pronomen are used with reflexive verb. For the list, maybe I could send you the list instead of wasting our time right now on noting it. Or maybe if we have some time at the end, we will go through the list.
Okay.
Yeah. And verbs with fixed prepositions. Now, verbs with fixed prepositions oder verben mit Präpositionen. We've learned prepositions earlier. What are the accusative prepositions that we know, and how many prepositions do we know?
Accusative, edufu,
Richtig.
entla, douche,
Mhm.
um, edu, one,
Mhm.
for,
Pure,
gegen, pure,
und gegen.
yeah,
Yeah, and dative prepositions. How many dative prepositions do we have?
Matthew, um, myth, myth, zoo, fawn,
Yes. And
gegenüber.
mhm.
I'm remembering only these four. Myth, zoo, fawn, gegenüber. No,
Okay. Have you learned vexel prepositions also?
no. Vexel, no. Both, it takes both cases, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that I learned.
Okay, and Vijay, do you know vexel prepositions also?
I completely forgot this, Raja.
Okay, okay. So yeah, remind me next time. Probably we will do that also.
Mhm.
Yeah. So verben with fixed prepositions are verbs which take some prepositions with themselves, or they have a few prepositions associated with themselves, which we call as their fixed prepositions. Some verbs in German are used as fixed expressions and have a particular preposition fixed with them. For saying an expression, you can use that verb with the fixed preposition. And we have a few, we'll be listing a few verbs with their fixed prepositions. And over here, that does not mean that the verb with the preposition would mean the same as the preposition in itself. Like, for example, let's go through. An is the first. An is the first preposition which is associated with a few verbs. Denken, denken an, plus accusative means to think of. Now, an is on, but that does not mean over here it means to think on. Or it could mean the same thing, but for just an example, an does not should not necessarily have to mean its normal prepositional meaning in these verbs with fixed prepositions. When it associates it with itself with a verb, everything changes. So whenever in a sentence you want to say I think upon something or I think of something, you would be using ich denke an something. Ich denke an Deutschkurs, an mein Deutschkurs. I think of my German course. So similarly, when you would be using the noun, you would have to when you would be using the verb, you would have to associate the preposition with it if you want to say this meaning. Okay. Next is schreiben and plus accusative, which means to write to and not to write on.
Okay.
Next, sich erinnern an, to remember about. Okay, now these are three verbs. Try making three sentences with using these verbs and the fixed prepositions.
I have a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
How to use the third verb? She's
Zish erinon an. Zish erinon an is again a reflexive verb that we learned right now.
So if I want to say I think to myself, I would say
Mm-hmm.
wish, very near a wish, and then about the thing.
Excuse me. Is erinora an myself. Myself would be
Mish.
Mish.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I have to say that also. Mish or I have to add that also to myself or to herself like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Is
why
it
we have
so?
zish.
Okay. I did.
Done?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yes, can you say it?
Either.
Ich denke an Abendessen.
Yeah, okay.
Ich schreibe an Mein Freund, Freund.
Ich?
Schreibe
Hmm?
an mein Freund.
An? I can't hear you clearly.
Mein Freund.
Okay, yes.
Ich erinnere an mich letzten Semester.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Yes. Lalitha?
Ich deine Familie. Ich schreibe an mein Mann einen Brief.
Mm-hmm.
Ich erinnere an mich mein Schultage.
Okay. And Vijay, what was your sentence for Zish Arina Nan?
Ich erinnere an mich letzten Semester.
Okay. Okay. Now over here, did you understand reflexive verbs?
Ja, reflexive verbs.
Ja. Ich kaufe mir ein Haus. I buy myself a house. Mir means myself over here and not my. Okay. So can you reframe your sentences? Lalita, yours would be ich denke oder ich erinnere mich an.
Oh, okay. Ich erinnere mich an mein Schultage.
Ja. And Vijay?
Ich erinnere mich an letzten Semester.
An mein letzten Semester.
An mein
Okay?
letzten
Ja, richtig.
For ich denke, I have to use mir
Nein,
or
accusative.
which.
Accusative. See, we have also written A for accusative over here. So these verbs, when they would be associated with accusative, ich denke mich. If it had been a reflexive verb.
No, whether this sentence is
Wie bitte? I can't hear you.
oder ich denke mich an mein Familie.
Nein.
Is it correct?
Ich denke an meine Familie ist richtig. Ich denke mich an meine Familie, that would be you using it with the reflexive verb.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're using denken as a reflexive verb, then you would have to use mich.
Okay.
Okay?
So if I want to say I think to myself about something, I would say I denke. So how would that be? It will have the reflexive.
See, ich denke mich is I think to myself. An is about or of, and then your object.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Is it clear, or do you want to practice? Okay, take two reflexive verbs, sich freuen. Sich freuen is to be happy about, and sich waschen. Okay, sich waschen is to wash oneself. So use these two verbs and make sentences. So you would be clear with reflexive verbs.
Ich freue sich an meine Schwester verheiratet.
Verheiratet, V capital oder?
V capital.
Yes, verheiraten.
Verheirat. Okay, 10. Okay. Ich wasche sich an meine Kleidung.
Ich wasche
Sich an meine Kleidung.
Okay, and what was, can you repeat your first sentence?
Ich freue sich an meine Schwester verheiraten.
I heard it as mish. What is the reflexive pronoun for ish, Rita?
Okay, sorry. Both are mish.
Yeah. I
Okay.
thought in the first one you said mish and in the second one you said zish.
No, both are mish. Yeah, both I did. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, except that everything is correct.
Okay.
And Vijay?
So we have to use the verb, the preposition "an" whenever we are using this reflexive pronoun.
When we are using reflexive pronoun, no. No. See, reflexive pronoun is a different concept.
Okay.
Um, like we have trennbara verben, trennbara verben. We have some verbs which are not conjugated regularly, which we call them as strong verbs.
Mhm.
So this is just another form or another part of verbs that we are learning in German. And that's why it comes with sich. The verb is a normal verb also. You can use nur erinnern also. Nur only erinnern makes it a normal noun. But when you're using erinnern with sich, it makes it a reflexive noun, reflexive verb, sorry. And it means that erinnern, whatever erinnern is doing it to itself. Okay, now erinnern means to remember. So sich erinnern means to remember oneself or to remember just himself, whatever the present pronoun or noun you're associating it with it. And now verbs with fixed prepositions is nothing but we use prepositions, different prepositions for different meanings, right? But when you say denken an, for example, when you say denken an, you would always know that the meaning is to think of and not to think on. Over here, it is not making a lot of difference, but when you move forward and you will see some verbs you take special prepositions itself. They cannot be used with other prepositions, otherwise the meaning would change. Okay, for example, bitten is to request for, but if you take the actual meaning of is at. Okay, but bitten means to request for.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
there's a
this
difference.
always associate with an.
Bitten is always associated with
Sorry, Denken. I asked Denken.
Yeah,
Denken
yeah.
always
Yes,
associated with
yes,
an.
yes. Denken would always be associated with an if you want to say to think of. If you want to say another meaning of Denken, if you want to say is Denker, I am thinking for my someone, then you would associate another verb for it. Okay, like there are a few verbs which take two meanings, two prepositions also with itself. Wherein in both of them the meaning is changing and also the case would also change in a few prepositions. Okay, for now just let's note it down, all of them, and then you would understand the difference. Okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Myself.
Next verb over here is auf.
I didn't tell my sentence.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, Richard.
Ich freue mich
Mm-hmm.
an es regnet nicht. Ich
Um,
wasche.
okay, you can say it as is den. Okay, okay, it's correct too. Kein Problem.
Ich freue mich, wenn es
Mhm.
regnet nicht. Correct?
Mhm.
Ich wasche mich an meinen Kleider.
Ja, richtig. Okay. Yeah, so with auf, we have a few verbs associated that are sich, freuen, auf, plus accusative. It means to look forward to. Okay, now if you see, sich freuen means to be happy about. Okay, sich freuen means to happy about, but sich freuen auf is to look forward to. So there's a change in meaning. If you want to say I look forward to something, you would be using sich freuen auf. Or ich freue auf mich. Ich freue mich auf plus the object or plus whatever you want to say. Ich freue, for example, ich freue mich auf die Klasse. Okay, so it me the and like we used this freuen earlier, wherein you are being happy about. But when you're associating this freuen with auf, that is you're using this freuen the verb with a preposition, the meaning of the whole phrase, that is the meaning of the phrase this freuen auf is changing. It is not remaining as I am happy about something. Auf is on. The actual meaning of on as a preposition is on. So you're not happy on something, but you're looking forward to something. This is what this try of means. So do you get the difference between just the verb
Yes.
and verb with the fixed preposition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sich stützen, you umlaut, auf plus accusative bedeutet to fall upon. Warten auf plus accusative is to wait for. Okay. Next.
Phrases in English.
Sorry?
These are like phrases in English.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
By is the next verb preposition. Which is associated with verbs like arbeiten, by. If you remember from the first class itself, when we were introducing,
Yeah.
I was saying arbeiten
Yes.
by. This is the reason. Ich arbeite bei Alten and ich arbeite für Alten or something else. Ich arbeite by plus dative to work at or to work with. Next is helfen by plus dative to help with. Sich entschuldigen bei. Okay, so these are a few verbs associated with by and a few associated with of. Over here, if you see by in is a dative preposition which means with, but it is used as with only for these two verbs. Over here, it is changing to apologize from and not to apologize with, or to report with. It is not to report with, but it is to report to. So it is making a change, it is making a difference in the meaning, and that's why these are like these verbs with fixed prepositions act as phrases. Okay, so now take two verbs from of any of these three and two of by and make four sentences, please.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Wir freuen uns auf meine Schwester verheiraten.
Mm-hmm.
Ich warte auf den Zug.
Mm-hmm.
Mein Mann arbeitet bei Alten.
Mm-hmm.
Ich wohne bei meinem Mann.
Minor one.
Meinem
Yeah.
daughter, right?
Mine. Nine. Is wanna buy mine and man. Not mine. I heard minor one.
Daughter, there the then order them.
My name, ma'am.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
said my name.
Okay, I heard minor man.
Oh, okay, my
Yeah,
name.
sorry. Okay. Rish, all correct.
Okay.
Yes, Vijay.
It's almost same as what she told.
Okay.
So, ich freue mich auf Ihr Anruf.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Ich warte auf der Zug.
Mhm.
Ich arbeite bei Alden.
Mhm.
Ohne bei mir selbst. I live with myself.
Yes. So how would you say that? Ishwana?
Ich wohne bei uh, mich or
Mia.
self
Near.
mir.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in auf also, den Zug, accusative case.
Okay.
Okay? Richtig. Just make sure, just pay attention to the case also. Okay, next, moving forward, you've got a hold over their meanings and how to use them. So let's just note all of them quickly. Fewer is the next preposition. Can you tell me, is fewer an accusative preposition or a dative preposition?
Accusative.
Yeah, richtig. Okay, so verbs associated with fewer are writing, fewer. Plus accusative is to work for. Okay, that's the difference between arbeiter by and arbeiter für. Now, arbeiten by takes dative and it has a different meaning from arbeiten für. Ich arbeite für plus accusative means to work for, aber ich arbeite für oder ich arbeite bei plus dative bedeutet to work with or to work at. So a few verbs might take more than one preposition as their fixed preposition, but their meaning changes. We would also have bonen and a few other verbs which would take more than one preposition. Okay, next is danken für plus accusative to thank for. Sich interessieren für plus accusative to be interested in. Okay, for für we have arbeiten für, danken für and sich interessieren für. Next is mit. Is mit a dative preposition or an accusative preposition?
With the dative.
Yeah, just mit. We have anfangen oder beginnen mit. Anfangen is a separable verb. Beginnen oder anfangen mit plus dative is to start with. Fahren mit plus dative means to travel by and not to travel with some person. Sich treffen mit to enjoy, oh, sorry, is to meet with. Sich unterhalten mit is to enjoy with. Or to converse with also. Sich verabreden mit suffocate with aspiration mit plus dative is to speak to California mit plus dative is to talk on phone with. Okay, these were a few verbs with fixed prepositions associated with mit. Next preposition that we have is nak. Pardon, nak plus dative is to travel or to go to. Fragen nach plus dative to inquire about. We would often mistake it with fragen, ich frage über, to inquire about, but fragen is associated with nach. That's why when you want to say I ask about or I inquire about, we would be using fragen plus nach. Next preposition is über. Über is an accusative preposition. Sich ergehen über, umlaut, plus accusative, to be annoyed about, sich aufregen über, plus accusative, to be excited about, or to be worked out. Sich beklagen über, plus accusative, is to complain about. Sich freuen über, plus accusative, to be happy about. Sich informieren. Expression über plus accusative, to speak about. Okay, so these were a few verbs with über. Next, we have Bitten plus accusative, request for. Sich kümmern, plus accusative, take care of. Zu, ein Einladen zu plus dative invite to hören zu plus dative belong to. The last one, von, hören von plus dative is to hear from. And sich verabschieden von is to take leave of. Clear? Let's solve an exercise about this. Freut sich das Geschenk. Yes? Lilita?
Moment. An.
An. Sich freuen. Wer was freuen? Sich
freut sich an das Geschenk.
Nein. Freuen was associated with?
Pure.
Sich freuen auf.
Auf, okay.
He looks forward for his gift, or he looks forward to his gift.
Okay.
Vijay?
Schwarte auf.
Wie bitte?
Auf.
Ja, richtig. Ich warte auf. Wann fängt Lilita?
Mit.
Ja. Wann fängt der Lehrer mit dem Unterricht an? Wohnst du keinen Eltern?
Bei
Richtig wohnst du bei deinen Eltern? Ich bitte Sie Hilfe. Hilfe?
Ich bitte Sie um Hilfe.
Ja, richtig. Hilfe. The last one. Der Zug fährt. Jetzt bitte.
Mit
Wie bitte?
nach
Ja, richtig. Der Zug fährt nach München. Sehr gut. Okay, is this topic clear?